All right, well, thank you very much for joining today. And I know there's a few more people coming in as we speak, but I want to stay on time. So let's go ahead and get started. Really excited to be a part of Pakistani Dreaming and very grateful for the invitation from the team. And I hope that the session will be a great use of your time. So thanks to our sponsors who've made this all possible. And I'd encourage you to visit their websites post-conference. Well, before we get started, who am I? Well, that's me and my family. Mark Tossell, I'm a dad. My background is mechanical engineering. As you can see, I'm kind of well known for the gold hoodie. I'm a data wrangler. I love to speak about Tableau and Salesforce, and I love to write. So I've written a book on CRM Analytics. I do a lot of blog posts, and I'll share that address with you later. Probably my favorite, I would say my favorite quote is by Richard Branson, where he said, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure how you can do it, you're not sure you can do it, say yes, then learn how to do it later. That's been the story of my life. I've been involved in technology for a short time, just 6 years. I kind of fell into a Salesforce implementation role, then Pardot, Einstein Analytics, which is now CRM Analytics, Einstein Discovery, and now Tableau. And I'm a solution engineer at Tableau, and I cover both Tableau and CRM Analytics. So the subject for today, why CRM Analytics? You're using Salesforce, the number one CRM in the world. It has best-in-class native analytics, providing powerful, customizable reports and dashboards. And it's been my experience that many people purchase Salesforce for that very reason, because they want those insights provided by reports and dashboards. And it's working well for your team or your business. So the question would be, why do you need CRM Analytics, aka Tableau CRM, aka Einstein Analytics, when you already have Salesforce reports and dashboards? I have been asked that question many, many times, and I'm looking forward to hopefully answering that for you today. So what will you learn in my session? Well, first of all, we're going to look at what is CRMA. What exactly is CRM Analytics? Secondly, we're going to understand why you need CRM Analytics. And lastly, at the end, I'm going to show you with a live demo how you use CRM Analytics. So firstly, what is CRM Analytics? It is an intelligent experience built for the world's number one CRM. You can discover the full story of your data because you can bring data from outside of Salesforce into the Salesforce user experience. You can uncover actionable insights that are built for your business, specific to your industry or use case. You can make smarter decisions in the Salesforce workflow because you're not jumping into a separate business intelligence platform, or, if I may, as many do, into a spreadsheet. And you can scale very quickly for your enterprise across all users and billions of rows with world-class performance on the world's most trusted and secure cloud. Einstein is built into the customer success platform. CRM Analytics provides complete insight for any data, beginning with that foundation of the enterprise-ready cloud, moving into the advanced analytics platform and intelligence layer, and then the experience layer for the user embedded in Salesforce where they live and work. We're able to bring in our external connectors from ERPs, AWS, Google BigQuery, more than 50 native connectors out of the box for CRMA. And of course, we're able to bring in all kinds of Salesforce data from Sales Cloud, Pardot, Marketing Cloud, IoT Cloud, etc. Incredibly versatile platform experience for Salesforce users. First of all, when we're thinking about what is CRM Analytics, it is embedded. CRM Analytics is unique. I'm often asked, well, who is your number one competitor for CRM Analytics? And really, I would suggest that there is no true competitor that can do what CRM Analytics can do. Now, I would say in a practical sense that many people are using spreadsheets to get the answers very slowly and manually outside of Salesforce that they could be getting in an automated fashion within Salesforce. So perhaps the spreadsheet is the number one competitor. But really, CRM Analytics, because it is embedded, it is an on-platform solution. So again, we're not jumping out of Salesforce into another platform, another login, a different UI or UX, etc. It's all in one place. It's hosted in one place. Very powerful. Secondly, as part of an embedded solution, you get those embedded insights within CRM. They're right where you live and work. They're embedded in the workflow. You know, to be honest, many business intelligence and data analytics projects fail not in the execution, but in the adoption. And CRM Analytics, being an on-platform embedded solution, solves a great deal of that adoption challenge because it is there right where people are going every day to do their business as usual. They're not having to remember to look for a dashboard or try and find a dashboard or a chart or a metric. It's all there right in front of them. It's served up as an intelligent Salesforce user experience with a familiar UI and UX. So first, when we think about what is CRMA, it is embedded. Secondly, CRMA is intelligent. It is far more than simply charts and metrics. With CRM Analytics, you get the power of predictive insights. Powered by machine learning, you're able to not, as it were, drive down the freeway looking in the rear vision mirror, but you're actually able to look ahead, see where you're going, to understand what's happening now, why it's happening, to also understand what could happen in the future. And then with that prescriptive guidance, you can even have insight into perhaps what you could do to influence that future outcome. That is a game changer for business and for all kinds of organizations. It's getting value out of that data. Most organizations that I have worked with, they are compiling a huge amount of data within Salesforce, outside of Salesforce, but they're getting very little value out of that data. And I also find that for organizations that are using Salesforce and capturing this rich information, that CRM Analytics helps them to get far greater return on investment in Salesforce. CRM Analytics is embedded, it is intelligent, it is also actionable. And again, when we think of a competitor for CRM Analytics, in this respect, there is none at all. CRM Analytics has no peer in this respect because it takes advantage of that action framework within Salesforce. So when you think of Salesforce tasks, when you think of cases, when you think of chatter, or when you think of kicking off automated processes, for example, in Flow, and all of the power of that process automation, that can be triggered by action that you take within a CRM Analytics dashboard, chart, table, embedded in a Salesforce record, embedded on your homepage. You get those Salesforce actions, and we call them single actions and also bulk actions. You can open one record and take action from it, or you can have a table view where you've drilled into a cohort of 75,000 leads, for example, and with just a few clicks, you can add those leads to a Salesforce campaign, and from there, for example, on a marketing cloud journey. So CRM Analytics really is, it is quite unique. It has a very unique offering. It is embedded, it is intelligent, and it is actionable. The second question I want to address today, why do you need CRM Analytics? We've got an understanding of what CRM Analytics is. We said that it's embedded, intelligent, and actionable. But why do you need it? Today's Salesforce user experience often looks like what you're seeing here. Now, we have a record view here. It happens to be an opportunity. And we're looking down, we can see the stage, the type of opportunity, a little bit about the account, but really it's just a system of record. And frankly, many people would view this as just an admin tool that they have to deal with, it's required. It's not giving the user any real value. It's not helping them to do their job. So that's today's Salesforce user experience in the case of many organizations. But this is what the Salesforce experience could look like. And you see here on this page, we're still in Salesforce. The user would not have any understanding, nor would they need any, that this is CRM Analytics embedded in Salesforce. To the user, this is purely Salesforce with an added layer of intelligence. We can see what's happening by combining Salesforce and external data. We can see what may happen with Einstein intelligent predictions. We can see why it's happening with transparent, understandable explanation, and we can even see what to do about it with an action framework so you can act from the point of insight. And really, if you think about it, would you rather Salesforce users have this experience or have this experience? It really is a no contest. So why would a Salesforce customer need CRM Analytics? I'm going to give you 6 reasons today. And this is really the crux of our session. Number 1, because they need a customer 360. Many people, when they purchase Salesforce, their vision is for that one pane of glass, that view of the customer in Salesforce, where they can see everything about the customer that they need to understand in order to serve them with excellence. That could be service information, sales information, engagement with the customer, activity. For example, revenue data right there on an account page. But the idea is that with all this rich information within Salesforce and even bringing in some external data, for example, revenue information from an ERP or targets from an S3 bucket, whatever the case may be, a customer wanting that customer 360, it's very difficult to get that, if at all, without the power of embedded CRM Analytics. And I would say that this would be right near the top of the reasons why customers need CRMA. Firstly, the customer 360. Secondly, they might need CRMA because they want to combine external data with Salesforce data in one dynamic dashboard within Salesforce. And perhaps they don't want to integrate multiple platforms and millions of rows of data into their Salesforce environment, and they're at the risk of cluttering up and making their data model very complex. But perhaps they want to bring in some external data. As I mentioned, it could be revenue. It could be perhaps targets. They want to combine that in one dynamic dashboard. There was a very large multinational enterprise customer I worked with 2 years ago. They had a dashboard built with CRM Analytics embedded in Salesforce for their opportunities. But the regional vice presidents actually told our team when we were implementing, I was in a partner business, they told us that this dashboard is amazing, but we'll never use it. And I said, well, why wouldn't you use it if it's so great? So they said, because it doesn't have the actual revenue. And all this information about opportunities is all well and good. But for us to make informed decisions, we need to see the actual revenue. The great news is we were able to work with their IT team who brought the actual revenue data from their data warehouse into an AWS S3 bucket. We used a native connector with CRM Analytics, and hey presto, we had that rich, powerful revenue data from outside Salesforce combined with Salesforce opportunity data to give them that analytics they needed. And at that point, they rolled it out across the organization around the world, and they went from 50 to 550 CRM Analytics users because they were able to combine Salesforce and external data. So you might need Salesforce because you want to obtain that customer 360, that one pane of glass, because you want to combine external data with Salesforce data. And thirdly, perhaps you're one of many customers that are exporting Salesforce reports into spreadsheets to aggregate and transform and combine VLOOKUPs and pivot tables and all the rest to get the insights you need from your Salesforce data. I'll share a brief customer story in a moment of this exact use case, but we find this is a very common challenge with our customers. So there's the customer 360, the external data, the spreadsheets. The fourth reason why you might need CRM Analytics is because you have a highly custom environment. Your data model is anything but out of the box, and perhaps it has customizations and complexities that really make comprehensive reporting in Salesforce difficult, if not impossible. And the beauty of CRM Analytics is we're able to bring in all of that Salesforce data. It's brought in a flattened manner. We're able then to combine it and to build those relationships, and we're able to reflect the complex data model in Salesforce. Obviously, we don't have the limitations of native reports. We can combine as many objects as we like in almost any fashion and deliver the analytics that a customer is looking for. Then another reason number 5 that a customer might want CRMA is they want predictive insights powered by the intelligence of machine learning. It's been my experience that many people talk about predictive insights. Very few people actually have predictive insights. But that's what we're able to deliver with CRM Analytics. And in many cases, businesses are spending millions of dollars on pilot programs with AI and machine learning, with traditional data science teams, with data science, automated machine learning and supervised machine learning platforms. But the challenge is deploying those into the real world to get those insights in front of their users so they can be actioned. And that's the beauty of CRM Analytics. We have the on-platform supervised machine learning, the AI of Einstein, that delivers insights that can be consumed within the day-to-day workflow in Salesforce and then made use of using that Salesforce action framework. And lastly, we see that sometimes the complexity of a Salesforce customer's business and their data requirements, their reporting needs, their business logic, they're just too complex to be managed in Salesforce reports. Sometimes it can be very complex weighted calculations for working at metrics. Sometimes it might be the fact that there are many data sources that need to be brought in to create the reports that are required. But again, that's another use case for CRMA. So I'm just going to review these again. We see number 1, customer 360, that one pane of glass. Number 2, external data. Number 3, overcoming that hurdle of using spreadsheets to get reports. Number 4, a very complex custom Salesforce environment. Number 5, they want predictive insights. And number 6, they have very complex reporting needs and business logic that cannot be handled by reports and dashboards. Just a very quick customer story to illustrate what I've told you. So when I was a partner, we worked with an amazing charity called Red Kite. They were preparing a quarterly report that went up to their board to show their social impact. And all of that data was in Salesforce, but unfortunately, that service data wasn't captured purely on cases or contacts. It was actually captured on about 8 different Salesforce objects. It was extremely complex in the way that those metrics were calculated. So every quarter, their data analyst was taking 3 full days, exporting 25 Salesforce reports as CSVs into Excel, combining, aggregating, using VLOOKUPs, creating pivot tables, and then eventually was able to deliver that report up to the board. But by the time it was delivered, it was a week out of date. It was a static screenshot embedded in a PowerPoint slide. That was totally transformed by the power of CRM Analytics. They now have a near real-time dashboard available on demand that not only combines all of that data, calculates all of those complex requirements, and delivers up an easy-to-use dashboard, but also it's not a static deliverable. It can be drilled into, it can be sliced and diced and used to understand the what happened and the why it happened and what could be done. And that's just one example of the transformative power of CRM Analytics. So a bit of a summary slide here. CRM Analytics delivers a pre-built plug-and-play analytics solution for Salesforce that is powerful, flexible, and scalable. And I've mentioned these already, but just to review them, you can make smarter decisions in the workflow powered by AI, combine external data with Salesforce data, take action at the point of insight, increase productivity and adoption, improve the user experience by providing guidance can take action on, and you don't need to export Salesforce reports and combine them in spreadsheets. And I'm a big fan of this statement here. You move from a system of record to a system of engagement. How do you use CRM Analytics? We've only got a few minutes left, but what I'm going to do now, I'm going to jump out of my slides and I'm going to go into my environment, and I'm going to share my screen and just give you a quick look at CRM Analytics. So bear with me 1 second. What you're seeing here, this is a revenue insights powered by CRMA. And this is actually embedded on a homepage. This will be used by a sales leader. And you can see that very quickly they have an understanding of something that most businesses, in my experience, do not have an understanding of. And that is the ability to see how they're tracking towards target. We're using machine learning to calculate a prediction and understand that, yes, we're on track to reach that target as a business, but also the sales leader can see that they actually do have one of their team members down here, Olivia, that is well below quota. She's going to need some extra training and coaching. We can see that one of the team members, Julia, is obviously performing well above par. So perhaps we might pair Olivia with Julia so that she's able to give her the training that she needs. The leader can also very quickly drill into opportunities that need attention, the way that they're changing, what those top opportunities are. But really, in my opinion, the real power and value is what you're seeing here. This is an opportunity record. And as I mentioned earlier, right here in Salesforce, we can see predictive analytics around the revenue trend. We can combine external data about actuals with our Salesforce data right here in CRM. We're using machine learning to understand propensity to buy. On the opportunity page, we have an understanding of the status of support cases, because if I call a customer and they have a bunch of cases that have been sitting there open for a long time, I'm going to want to address that before I try and sell them anything. We can also see information around NPS, etc. And then down here on the right-hand side, we have understanding about how likely we are to win this deal, what the leading causes are of that likelihood, how we can improve that. But even better, we have an action down here where we can click on this button, engage a deal compete team, and go really quickly from data to insight to action. Now, I did notice that I had a couple of questions, so I'm going to try and address those as quickly as I can in the few minutes that we have left. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the raffle information. So just let me change screens that I'm sharing, and then I'll have a look at those questions for you. And there's my contact information, by the way. So very quickly, I've only got 5 minutes. Thank you, Yasir, for your question. I want to ask why companies use Salesforce CRM if he's very good going with his customers and his business with customers are going good. Hopefully with the points that I've shared, Yasir, I am hoping that I've been able to answer that question for you. We generally find that within a certain period of time, it depends on the business, how fast they're growing, etc. We do tend to find that there does come a point where they hit a ceiling, often with reports and dashboards, as I've explained. They want to start bringing in external data. They have complex requirements. They want predictive analytics. And at that point, that's when they look to upgrade to CRM Analytics. Very often, companies will do so with a pilot build. I don't like the term proof of concept because that sounds very disposable. So they'll often have like a pilot build and then go from there and provide value to the organization. So again, I'd encourage those of you who have questions, if you did ask them here or did not, you've actually got my email address up on your screen. I'd be more than happy for you to shoot me an email or a LinkedIn message and I'll get back to you. I may not get back to you within 24 hours, but I'll get back to you. And then we had Ahmed Kadir Lahani. Thank you for your question. Can you give an example of any predictive model which has effective results? So I'll give you a very quick answer to that one. We built some really powerful analytics for Motorola Solutions for their global sales team. We built models that helped them understand what deals were at risk of not closing. We deployed those models globally. And the way we deployed them was very interesting. We actually simply used a flag on a list view. So we didn't give them all kinds of complex insights. People won't use it. You've got to keep it as simple as possible. And it was a red flag for a deal at risk, a green flag for not at risk. And so the sales leaders were able to go in, look at their top deals, identify those that were at risk, very quickly action that directly from within Salesforce to follow up with their sales managers and sales team members. And that was extremely powerful from them. You've said someone else very quickly, Kamal, how often can we sync the data to Salesforce? Generally speaking, it's a 15-minute refresh is the lowest that you can get. You do have the opportunity or the ability to use a SQL query, Salesforce Object Query Language, within a dashboard. That's something that you could probably Google. If you just Google CRM Analytics and then SQL, S-O-Q-L, you can find more out about that. But in my experience, every 15 minutes is pretty much adequate for any customer. So